Why you should review your inner circle. Welcome to this week's video, where we are going to discuss inner circles and what you should look for in a friend. Show me your friends and I will show you who you are is a well-worn phrase, but a true one nonetheless. While our habits and our self-worth shouldn't be dependent on others, we rarely succeed alone. We need other people to push us in the right direction through advice, motivation, and sometimes financial help. While there are no rules as to what constitutes a good friend, there are several things you should always watch out for, especially in your inner circle. I'll start with the story of two good friends, Marcus and Tom. They grew up in the same neighborhood, attended each other's birthday parties, visited each other in the hospital when sick, studied for their final examinations together, and played baseball together. They were the perfect best friends and swore never to stop being friends. However, as close as they were different. Marcus was an academic performer and always emerged top of the class, while Tom found himself in the middle of the list. At one point in high school, Tom started avoiding Marcus because they were so different. However, Marcus was quick to point it out and talk about it. He explained that he performed well in school and was not going to stop because it was the only way he could qualify for an academic scholarship. However, he also pointed out that Tom was the school captain of the baseball team and performed exceptionally well in the field. He had already received several scholarship invitations to colleges to play baseball while studying. Marcus was a good friend. He did not deny himself, but neither was he putting his friend down. After pointing out both their strengths, he explained why it was beneficial for both of them to help each other out, to be successful in the future. To date, Marcus and Tom lead different lives in different cities, but still create time to see each other. Marcus is an entrepreneur, lecturer, and angel investor. Tom is a successful baseball player, continuously making headlines and also taking time to coach students back in his hometown. In the same town were two other friends, Charles and Mason. They took the school bus together, loved skating, drawing, and were part of the swim team. For Charles, being part of the school swim team was an opportunity for him to grow and join the Olympic team one day. Every day, he would get to school 2 hours early and take a few laps before changing for class. He tried to encourage Mason to do the same, but later realized that Mason was more intent on being popular in school. During one of their school parties, one of the boys brought some drugs. Charles refused, given that the swim team competitions were around the corner and he intended to win it. Mason, however, was all for the party life. Eventually, they started growing apart and stopped being friends. Charles loved Mason, but he knew that he could not keep up with his life. He is glad he joined his college swim team and plans to keep working with his college mates to become a better swimmer. Unfortunately, Mason and his friends have turned into the neighborhood junkies. Initially, Charles attempted to reach out, but realized Mason was more concerned with complaining about his life instead of trying to make it better. He got addicted to drugs, and for him, nothing is beyond his quick fix. In both cases, the friendships seemed like they could last forever. It did for those that were willing to push each other forward, but failed in the second story. Why? Because the people we keep in our inner circles have a huge impact on who we become. So what kind of friends should you look out for in your inner circle? More importantly, what kind of friends should you keep around? The negative Nellies. We all go through obstacles in life, which leave us feeling sad, depressed, or frustrated. However, after some time, we also want to move past our difficult moments and elevate our lives. However, some people would rather be like Mason. They would rather stay addicted to drugs and complain that their lives are not as successful as yours. Inasmuch as you would like to help these people, they will always find ways to bring your positive energy down with their sad stories and self-destructive habits. In the end, you have to decide if you want people who encourage you or those who push you down. People who are smarter than you. Jim Rohn once said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with." However, we underestimate the power of this statement. Sometimes we do not realize what we are capable of until the people around us point it out. Other times, we know exactly what we are capable of, but need people that share our energy to push us forward. From our first story, Marcus was quick to point out Tom's strengths and encourage him to work on baseball. Marcus knew that he was different from his friend, but he wanted him to be just as successful as he was. He was a good friend through encouraging and supporting Tom with his academics so that he could qualify for better scholarships. Take a look at your inner circle today. Do you have friends that are smart enough to identify your strengths and support you to become better? The toxic influencers. While this is a bitter pill to swallow, not all friendships are good for you. From our story, no one understood this concept better than Charles. He was aware that he cared for his friend Mason, especially because they grew up together and spent the majority of their life together. However, being addicted to drugs and swimming would never have worked. Charles refused to sacrifice his future for a quick high, and neither should you. You do not have to sacrifice your success for a friend that is too blind to be concerned about their own life. You can try and help them overcome their difficult time, but ultimately, you can't force them to change. People who offer constructive criticism. Having a friend who is honest with you is good. They will remind you that you should not be drinking during the week because it will affect your productivity. They will tell you to go for that workout and visit the doctor for that checkup. They might even help you craft a CV for your next job by pointing out your mistakes. Constructive criticism is essential and it helps us grow. However, it would help if you watched out for people that use their criticism to bring you down. You'll walk into the room and they will point out how pale your shirt looks and that you should dress better instead of looking like a homeless guy. Or you'll get a new pair of shoes and they will insist that you got conned. Look out for that guy that will always listen to what you do for work and point out how unsuccessful and poor you are. Maybe it's envy, maybe it isn't. Whatever the case, criticism should be constructive. What are your thoughts on friends and inner circles? Do you have an inner circle? And if so, do your friends push you to be better? Have you lost a few friends on your way to success? Share your experience and let's all learn from each other. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.